Hello everyone, this is Kaifu here to have a deck profile for you guys. Today's deck profile will be based on Gamheld, the King of the Dead. And was a high request one from everyone because I know a lot of people won't know why this was one of the best cards in the Origin format. And yes, this is an Origin format deck profile, and it was requested since last time I said the top 3 rules was being used, and this is one of them. But I didn't go to explanation in one of my older videos, so in this video I'll be talking about the strength and weaknesses of this deck, and also my own deck recipe. So let's get on with the video, guys. So in this video, the deck profile will Gamheld, the King of the Dead, or also known as Loki, the Ancient Demon Lord. So why is he good? Why is he amazing compared to other roles, and why is he one of the top tier decks? It's really simple because this card creates a lot of play in the raw form. If you guys don't know what his ability is, you can pay 400 life points to produce 1 Dark Will until end of turn. And this ability can be used once per turn on each turn. So pretty much you can use it on your opponent's turn, you can use it on your turn. So for example, say you're going first, you tap 4 Magic Stone, you produce a Magic Stone, right? You have the 2 drop in your hand, pay 400, tap your Magic Stone, put a 2 drop on the field, and that is a big play already because you already have your turn to Resonator on the field on your turn 1 play. So it's really amazing. It creates play overall. Say overall is your opponent's turn now. Your opponent is trying to make a big play. If you're using green, great. Pay 400 and pay 1 green, cancel a spell card. Really good overall because this what makes this card good because it creates a lot of play, it creates a lot of control. Now, if you're wondering how the J activate it, it's really simple. It doesn't require any will, it just requires 1000 life point. So by paying 1000 life point, you're able to flip them over. Now, you guys will be wondering, whoa, 1000 life point, that's kind of steep, isn't it? Not really, because the fact that it's a fair trade because his rule side is kind of how do you say, it's kind of weak in the early game, but in the late game where it comes strong. So if you in the late game paying 1000 life point, you are getting to the point that you will be in a bad situation if you're in a bad situation already. But however, if you're in a good position in the late game, then this will be really amazing overall. Let's explain what it does. The first ability is that this card gains 100 defense for each card in your graveyard. Now, if you guys didn't know, his original defense is only 100, so meaning he's really weak in the early game and mid game. So unless you somehow mill a lot of cards or get a lot of cards in your graveyard, there's no way this guy will be more than like 500 defense. So you have to be really careful when you're using it. Now, his enter skill. When this card comes to play, look top 10 card of your deck, and when you do, choose one of them and put them to your hand and then shuffle your deck. So it gives you a +1 on when you J activate, so you can search for any card, like for example, you're playing Law Silent, you're playing Force Drain, you're playing Windcutter, you're playing Xeex the Ancient Magic, Kiss of Death, Muddle Ego, or any of your Resonator you want. It's a good card overall. So, the last ability, remove a Resonator in your graveyard. This card deals 100 damage to each Resonator on the field. So it pretty much applies a lot of AoE on the field. So if your opponent has 3 Resonator with 600 attack and defense, remove 6 Resonator from your graveyard, deal 600 damage on the board. So it's a mini field wipe as well, so it can be a potential field wipe, but you have to be really careful when to use his ability because if you use it too recklessly, you have no cards in your graveyard, and the defense of Loki's will decrease dramatically if you don't use it correctly. So be really careful. So let's get on with the Magic Stone lineup. For the Magic Stone lineup, I play 4 blue-green, 4 black-green, and 2 green-white. Now, the green-white is not necessarily here, it's just only in here because it can get some good sideboard. But the main ones you actually want to have is that you must have 4 green-black and 4 green-blue because they are really important overall. The reason why is that this deck does play black along with Loki's ability, paying 400 to produce 1 dark. So it creates a big play overall, so you need these dark stones. Not only that, you need your blue one as well because you do play some blue Resonate, or I play some blue Resonate in my deck, which allows me to create more play overall, more draw power, and so on. So that's all the Magic Stone, nothing to explain here, but the main reason you must play these is because of your deck, or depending on how you play it. I didn't play any True Stone because True Stone is not necessarily needed in this deck. So let's get on with the main deck list itself. Here's what everyone is waiting for, the main deck list itself. For the 1-drop, I play 3 Sprouts. Sprout, what it does is that when it comes to play, I made this card a win attribute from my hand, and I can produce 3 green wheels 1 to the turn. So this card creates a lot of play along with Loki's ruler form. So pretty much you create a lot of play on your turn 1 play if you have it in hand. The reason I don't play 4 is because one reason only. If I don't have any big power plays in my hand, this card doesn't do anything. I can mana ramp all I want, or ramp all I want, but if I don't have big plays, what's the point of using him? So you have to be really careful when you use him, because if you use him, you must create a good play. If not, then it's just a wasteful card overall. His last ability is that pretty much active. You can banish this card to target a card on the field, which is a standby one, and destroy it. So this card destroys standby cards overall, so it's really good. So if you're playing Pixie Negation, Morning Mist, Magic Disappear, and so on, this card can get rid of really easily. Let's get on to 2-drops. 2-drops, I play 2 the Messenger of the Jewel Tree. Can't remember his name, but 2 of these are Scorpions. 3 Grettles and 3 Wisdom Mermaid. Wisdom Mermaid and Trilogy just have one purpose: draw a card. So pretty much you're digging into your answer faster, and because of that, you need the draw engine, and this card allows you to draw. You can play the Tree Man one if you want to, but I don't have any Tree Man for some reason, so I'm just using these for now. So playing these to draw the cards you need to draw to your answer faster than your opponent, so deck thinning overall. Grettles in here, no explanation, is mana ramp overall. You play all green, so overall. You don't play 4 because play 4 it clogs the hand, because the fact that you can mana ramp all you want, like I said before. Same with Sprout Tree. If you have no big play, what's the point of mana ramping? And so what, you can control. So what, you have no field present. If your opponent somehow wipe your whole field, what's your defense now? Loki, you can't rely on too much. And 2 Scorpion, because he's one of the big sticks in the deck, you can discard a card, and this card gains 200 attack and 200 defense until end of the turn. So you can do a potential high amount of damage depending how you play it. Let's get on to the 3-drops. The 3-drops, I have 2 Indigo Siren. Indigo Siren is pretty much a resonator that steals a resonator with 3 costs below. So it's mostly against rush deck all the time. If not, then it's mostly good in any other deck, because if you're telling me that no decks play 3 costs below, then you're dead wrong, unless you're playing Diablos, which is exceptional. But however, most decks play 3 costs below, and this card is a great card overall. Tap it, steal your dude, use it against you, defend, use it to block, use it to attack you, use it for sacrifices. So really good overall. It's 600 defense, so it's really hard to get over for 3 costs. So let's get on with the 4-drop. This is where the deck shines the most. You play the Deers. I play 3 Beginnings, 3 Continuation, 3 Changes, and 2 Herald of the End. Now, I play 3 of each of these and 2 of these for a reason. The reason why I play 3 of each of these, because this is an origin format, so meaning some of these will go into light break, and you need these in the deck, because these are your pluses pretty much. So what I mean by pluses, so pretty much in Yu-Gi-Oh term, it's like they are your gadgets. So when it comes to play, search for 1 copy, it comes to play, search for another copy. So pretty much they are your gadgets of the deck. So you actually need these in the deck, right? Because if you don't have it, your deck is kind of like eh. And I only play 2 ends because this card can't be played unless I have 4 free Deers on the field, which I'll explain later. But for those who don't know what these Deer does, beginning, continuation, and change, I'll explain it right now. Let's start with beginning. Now, most of these abilities have similar ability, mainly the first one. Now, first one all apply all these 3 abilities. The first ability is pretty much if there are no cards with the word Yatarasu in its name on any field, so it applies to your field spell and your opponent's as well. Active ability on this card cannot be used. So meaning the last ability cannot be used for any of these 3 if you don't control a Yatarasu on the field. Now let's talk about the enter skill. When this comes to play, you search for the continuation from your deck and add to your hand. So like I said before, this is like a gadget deck, so you can add it to your hand. The last ability, you can discard the change continuation from your hand to the graveyard, and when you do, you can target a resonator in your opponent's graveyard and resurrect it, and it can attack for this turn. But at the end of the turn, banish it. So pretty much you can use your opponent's resonator against them. Say for example, if your opponent is playing a resurrection deck and has a lot of big costs, you can use this to discard and search for a resurrect their dude and then use it against them. So that's why it's really good overall. That's why you play 3 of it. 3 continuation, this is one of the least useful one out of the 3 Ds, because what it does is that when it comes to play, search for your deck for the change and add to your hand. Now, you can discard the change from your hand and recover this card. So what this means is that you attack first, and say your opponent blocks it, right? You can discard the change from your hand to the graveyard and recover it and attack again. So it's one least of the useful card. The only reason I'm playing 3 is because beginning needs it for the resurrection, so it's really good overall. The only reason this is in the 3 is because of beginning's ability. Next we'll talk about change. What change does is when it comes to play, search for Herald of the End and add to your hand. And you can discard the hero of the hand from your hand and discard your whole entire hand to draw 5 new cards from your deck. So pretty much its draw factor is a searcher for this guy, so that's why it's really good. Now, there's a reason why I only play 2 of these guys. The reason is that because unless I control all 3 deers, this card cannot be played regardless where the position is in the graveyard, is in your hand, from deck. You somehow try to summon it, it won't work because the fact that it's a continuous ability that you must play this as long as you control 3 of the deers on the field, 1 of each deer. So you must control 1 change, 1 continuation, and 1 beginning to act in order to actually play Herald of the End to play. So yeah, that's the reason I only play 2. Another reason is that I only play 2 because it's searchable by the change as well. Let's talk about his ability. His first ability is that when it comes to play, search your deck for any card and add to your hand. So it's a great searcher, search for any answers you need overall. Let's talk about the last ability. Now the last ability is pretty much tap it as a cost and banish a Yatarasu word on the same. Wait, let me read it again. Banish a word with Yatarasu in its name on your field by tapping this card at the same time. And when you do, destroy all Resonator and J Ruler your opponent controls. So pretty much it's really powerful overall because you just tap it, destroy my Yatarasu, and then bomb the field. Now you'll be wondering where's the Yatarasu I don't see on the Resonator. It's because the fact that I don't play it as a Resonator, I play it as a spell. So pretty much you will see it later. Next, for the 5-drop, you'll see I'll play 2 Kunoichis. Kunoichi, what it does is that at the end of the beginning of your end phase, draw until you have 7 cards. So as you can see, you do have a lot of pluses, but at the same time you might need more resources. So this is where this comes in, draw more cards and so on, gain more resources than your opponent. Not only that, the fact that this is a 15 defense, so it's hard for your opponent to run over unless they have a flyer. So it's really good overall. But if you don't like it, you can replace it with Morrigan if you want it, but Morrigan's breakability can hurt you in the long run, so you have to be really careful. So yeah, and for the last one, for the 6-drop, I play 1 Mirage Drake. Mirage Drake is pretty much a flying Resonator with 1000 attack, 1000 defense. What it does is that I can pay 1 of any color I want, give it Shroud until end of turn. If you don't know what Shroud means, Shroud is pretty much means that it can't be targeted by spells or abilities until end of turn, so it's a really good card overall. So yeah, that's all for the Resonator I play at the moment. I think I play around 25 Resonators or 24, I can't remember on top of my head, but let's go on with the spell lineup. For the spell lineup, I play 4 Sanctuary of Yatarasu. So this is the main field spell you actually want to get for your hand ASAP. So what it does is that you break it, put it in your hand. So that's the important one out of it. So when you play this card, search your deck for the beginning, continuation, and change from your deck and put them on the field. So pretty much an instant plus 3 card if you get this card to resolve. And his other ability is pretty much all Tree-Man or Divine Tree you control gains 200 attack and 200 defense. So it's a global applying ability to all your Resonators if you control those races. And the last ability, if this card would leave the field, put the top 5 card of your main deck to the graveyard. Now this could be really bad because the fact that you're using Herald of the End to destroy this, to destroy the whole field and mill the top 5 cards. So you're coming closer to decking out, but it doesn't matter in the long run. It only matters in the long run if you're decking out, because you don't really mind if you mill top 5 cards because you're feeding out Loki's defense higher, because by milling top 5 cards you actually increase his defense a lot faster than everyone else. So that's why it's important. You can mill if you are possible. If your opponent somehow destroyed it with their own ability, for example, Dream of Juliet or Elvish Bowman, whatever. So pretty much destroying this, they have to resolve. This will make this guy really big overall. And to the point that you could deck out, then that's what matters the most. Next, for this other spells, I played 3 xeex the Ancient Magic and 3 Force Drain. Force Drain is similar to what Absolute Kickstone does, but this one has a break it, draw card, so pretty much a really good card. Cancel any normal spell, so standby, chant, instant, addition, you name it. And xeex the Ancient Magic, this is mostly to cancel a summon most of the time, and also you give it Shroud for any Resonator and +2/2 to all Resonators. So it's really good overall. So really powerful spell overall. I don't know why it was designed in the first place, but however, yeah, you got your big play cancel summons, and you got your big play for your canceling your opponent's normal spells. So you have a lot of cancel spells. And for the other spells, I play 4 Kiss of Death. So pretty much these are your removal spells of the deck, and 2 Mother Egos. What Kiss of Death does for those people who don't have Kiss of Death, what it does is that it's an instant, so you can pay 1 darkness, 1 other color, target a non-light Resonator and destroy it. So you can destroy any Resonator except for light. So it's a really good card overall, and when you break it, destroy a Resonator on the field. It's a really good card overall. Muddle of Ego, what it does is that target resident minus 500 defense until end of turn, so it can be a potential field wipe combining with Loki's AoE damage, so you can like remove 5 and cast it on one resident, do 1000 damage on the board, so really good overall. Break it, put it in your hand, so that's really much it. Not much to explain. The spell lineup is pretty simple. 6 removal spells, 6 cancel spell, and 4 of these guys to actually help you play big plays. So let's get on with the strength and weaknesses of this deck. So what is the strength? What is the weakness of this deck? Well, the first strength of the deck is that it creates a lot of pluses if you get the right cards in your hand. For example, if you're able to get like Grettles for your early plays, and to the point that you can activate Sanctuary of Yatarasa on your turn 3 play is really amazing overall, because to the point that you ramp so fast compared to your opponent. You have 3 spell to ramp, you have Gretel to ramp, to the point that you can actually make a big play by playing the Sanctuary of Yatarasa onto the field. Not only that, the deck provides all the extra mana with the rule size, so it allows you to play your big plays for your colorless card. For example, you can play this Gretel on turn 1, pay 400, play this play a Magic Stone from top deck if it's green. Most of the time it will be green because, like I showed before, it's all green cards in here, so that's why it's really good. Not only that, what also it provides has draw powers, like with Wisdom Mermaid, Messenger of the Jewel Tree, and also, of course, Konoichi as well. So it allows you to draw cards overall, big plays, and so on. So what else does it? What is the weakness of the deck? Well, the weakness of it is that it's focused on Yatarasu itself, the field edition. So if you don't draw it anytime soon, this is where the deck struggles, because you have no big plays, because meaning that all your Dias, like your beginning, your continuation, and your changes, have no ability to activate the active ability. The enter ability is resolved obviously, but however, what's the point having enter ability if you can't discard like one of these following abilities to activate the full potential? So that's the struggle of that, because you actually need the field edition on the field to do it. Not only that, another weakness of this deck, if your opponent somehow field wipe your whole field, like your whole field, you have no comeback, because the deck has no comeback of getting big dudes on the field again. Once you lose the big dudes, you're gone for real. Even you summon these and search her out, it's not as effective compared to having enough free on the field, obviously. The second weakness of the deck is also that it applies to most deck anyway. It's strong, chunky hand, but this deck draws chunky the most because the fact that you're playing these cards can't do anything unless you have big play. You're just drawing cards, ramping, drawing cards, like you're doing nothing at all. So meaning until you draw the right pieces of the card of the deck, you only be stalling for a couple turns, and then hopefully your opponent doesn't finish you off. So that's the weakness of the deck. Another strength of the deck is that it applies a lot of pressure, like I said before. What I mean by applying pressure, you're getting free pluses like searches with beginning, continuation, and changes, and the hero of the end, you resolve it. And not only that, if you play, if this resolve, you're getting more pluses than before. So meaning you're getting a lot of field present, you have a lot of field present to hit your opponent hard numbers and so on. And not only that, if you want to, you can play Pumpkin Witch and so on. Now, I know that you guys might notice that I don't play Law Silent in this deck, because the thing is, I don't think Law Silent is good in the Origin format. Why do I say that? Because Origin format is pretty much based on like what you can play and in every single set. So how I feel about that, Law Silent is really meh. So for example, you Law Silent me, okay, pay 1000 life point, put my J-Roll on field, remove all resident from my field, wipe your field. So Law Silent doesn't stop me from J-activating, doesn't stop me from sending standbys, so I can just field wipe you with this. So I don't think Law Silent is really that good. Not because of that, because in the Origin format, there's a lot of field wipe on J-Rulers such as Diablos and Loki, so they can't field wipe you. So Law Silent is pretty mediocre, so I would not recommend playing more than 2 if you were to main deck it. 2 is already good enough. Playing 4 is creating a lot of dead draw. Like for example, saying you're in a losing position, and what can Law Silent help you? You can't do anything if your opponent has a field present, lots of cards on the field, and you have a Law Silent hand. What can your Law Silent do? You can't cancel plays, you only stall them for turns, and even you stall them, they just attack you, poke you. And not only that, they have open resources on your turn, so I mean they can interact with your plays, so since you force them not to play anything, so that's the bad thing about it. So not much to say about this deck, that's all I can talk about. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you guys next time, peace.